Hey, everybody. Welcome to another one of our extravaganzas here in Angela's Kitchen. As we wait for you folks to join us for another Metaphysical Matters. Um, it is incredible. Here it is. What is this? October 3rd?
Yeah, 3rd.
And it's 90 plus degrees outside. This is absolutely crazy.
I feel like it's making me physically ill. It's like I feel suffocated. I literally feel suffocated. I can't stand it. I want some cold.
We had a really good thunderstorm out where I live the day before yesterday. And even though it only lasted maybe half an hour, it was a really good shower. And that was huge. I mean, it felt like a huge release of something. But today it's like it's building again. It's just this dry heat, and it's just something's building, and I don't know. I want to wash it off or something.
Yeah, I want to hide. I had planned to go do some grocery shopping and stuff today, and I can't do it. I just can't.
Too hot.
Can't do it. I'll go get what I need at West Court, which I love West Court anyway. And I just can't. I feel like I want to hole up, and it's like it's so oppressive. It's just so oppressive.
And y'all, it is so cold in this house. She keeps it so cold that we're talking about how hot it is outside. I wear long sleeves when I come over here because I know it's going to be like a refrigerator.
I'm actually hot in this room already. I've got fans that I will not allow her to cut off that make a racket.
We go through this kind of give and take every time before we get started. I'm like, can we turn off the fan? No.
Don't even ask.
And it's like it makes that clicking sound. I don't care.
Don't care. It's like it's going to be that, or I'm going to be sweating. I'll probably sweating anyway. What it is, Kim, heat triggers hot flashes for me, and they've gotten so bad as to be just ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. So, I just can't. I can't take a chance on, sweating like that. Which I used to didn't sweat. Now I'm sweating, but it never ends. It never ends.
I get that. I don't think all yours is the usual cause of hot flashes, though. I do think there's like energetic changes that's triggering some of that in you too. I really do. Okay, we got about 17 folks with us already. So hey, everybody.
And again, I want to remind anybody that is watching this on my website, AngelaFayeMoore.com, or on my YouTube channel, just Google for it, that this is recorded live on Facebook Live. And I'll be happy to be your friend, as long as you're an actual person, a human person, and not a robot, or from Nigeria. But anyway, you can be from Nigeria, but you just can't be that kind of person from Nigeria who would like to steal all my bank info. But anyway,
they're just trying to share.
Happy to be your friend. So anyway, again, I just want to throw that out there because some people maybe turn this on thinking, what is going on? Because they come across it on my website.
Yeah.
And there you go.
All right, well, let's get started. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do the official intro right here, right off the bat.
Go.
This is Metaphysical Matters with Angela Moore. I'm Kim Clark. Thank you for joining us. Why did you just take my pen? I use this a lot during the show.
I was going to make a note in case I thought anything on this Kleenex right here.
Okay.
This Kleenex that's holding my Kool-Aid. And I have to tell you, Kim, I had a girl come to see me, and she's been coming to see me for a while now. And she says, I got you a gift. And she whipped out one of those containers of actual Kool-Aid.
That's great.
It was awesome. It's like, these people know what I like.
Let's start out by talking about a theme that's kind of been running through this week for both of us and some of the clients you've been seeing as well. And one of those themes is about time being weird.
Yeah.
And you just shared something with me right before we got started. I thought was really interesting.
Well, these things happen, and I don't want to be like a flaky person. So I really do analyze. As a matter of fact, I think to your chagrin, I actually overanalyze things. Still, sometimes I can analyze it away. But
chagrin's a word you don't hear very much.
I wait a long time to use that word.
I love that.
But anyway, I feel like, I've analyzed. I can't figure it out. And this was time. I woke up a couple of times, different nights, and I wake up a lot during the night. And I can almost tell you, if I wake up, it's 2 in the morning, it's 4 in the morning. I am so good at time, it's ridiculous at knowing it, or I was until lately. But anyway, I know how long it's going to take me to go run in there and come back to do an errand or whatever. Okay. So it's like I wake up and I look at the clock and it's, I don't know, like 3 in the morning, which I think might have felt right. I don't remember now. Later, I wake up, I look at the clock and it's 1 a.m. So it's like time went backwards. That happened not once, but twice. And then I was waiting to go, time to go get my kid at school. And I'm looking at the clock, and it's like, I know time slows down. I watch clock. I know this. I'm not totally ignorant. So I'm understanding it's going to seem a little slower. But usually it's like, it doesn't go like that. It's like, I know there was like, it's like it seemed to just slow down to the point of just almost stopping. And then I think it was later, it was like something similar. I had to wait again. And this time I looked down and looked back up in 20 minutes. And I forgot that. I actually didn't tell you that in the example, but it's been bizarre. Okay, the time's slowing down and the sun's speeding up. Okay, maybe we can figure that. But twice, it seemed like twice, it went backwards during the night, which I don't know what the heck's going on in here at night anyway anymore.
That's really strange. And now I guess you notice now all the comments. It's like they don't come through. And all of a sudden they pop up. We can see where everybody joined, and we'll just say hey to everybody. And if you've seen some time, anomalies this week, just give us a shout there. The other thing we were talking about before we got started was sleep issues. I don't know if you all are experiencing this as well. I'm waking up every morning at 4 o'clock. It seems like on the dot, 4 o'clock, and then it's a while before I go back to sleep. And you said you're experiencing something that, very similar.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Okay, first of all, I have a friend, Blanca. If she comes on here, she's going to be like freaking out because she's been pushing this 4 o'clock theory, which is nothing new.
What's her theory?
Well, that's like the bewitching time. It's like the time when it's the magic time because it's in between. It's in between worlds, day and night. Okay, so I'm just thinking she put this in my head because she's been talking about it a lot. But then again, I'm not sure because it just, I wasn't even going, I'll be honest, I wasn't even going to tell you the time. And you asked me because I'm thinking I'm not going to say the time. I'm just not. But I believe I may have mentioned to you that on several occasions in the past, our bedroom door has opened and shut. Now, I heard it. My husband heard it. We all 3 times, okay? And the first time he was awake, and I said, James? And he said, yeah, I heard it. So I'm thinking there's no footprints, there's no Dylan coming in. We have a doggy door on there for the dogs to go and come and go. There's a spring on it. I have to put springs on the doors in my house because this bunch I live with do not understand the necessity of shutting a door when you got air conditioning going. It's like, I cannot cool the world. I can barely cool this house. So, oh my God. Yeah, I have to have springs on the door. That is why. Because I am tired of going up 100 times a day and closing the door or saying, please come back and close that door. So anyway, the point of this story is that happened 3 times. Okay, then it quit. And basically I forgot about it. Well, last night I was having, a little difficulty sleeping as usual. And I'm not asleep. I'm a little bit awake. And the door did it again. And this time it was loud. It was like somebody had opened it really hard and that spring pulled it back hard. Dogs were not up, they didn't even wake up oddly enough. But yeah, that happened.
Wow.
And it was like, and I thought, okay, that was just James. Because it seems like I might have heard a little rustling around, like he's really quiet. He'll get up sometimes and he's really, really quiet. But you might hear him stick his shoes on or whatever, right? So I'm laying there thinking, okay, it's just James. Oh my God, it's just silliness. It's James. And then I finally I got a note. So I reached back there. Yep, he's in the bed. And I asked him today. He did not hear it. He was dead to the world. But that kind of got me, and then it was 4 in the morning or thereabouts, right around 4-ish. Sure was.
That's weird. And you think part of that may be because 4 o'clock is that in-between time?
Maybe an in-between time. Just like the change of seasons, could be an in-between time when things are more likely to happen of a paranormal nature. Maybe it's because this is a time when the veil between worlds, especially autumn, it's why we have Halloween, at the time it is because the veil between worlds is very thin. And maybe sometimes it's easier to poke a hole and come through, whether you mean to or not.
Yeah, that's actually something that you had texted me that you wanted to talk about, is why there was more paranormal activity in the fall.
And there you go.
And I wanted to ask you this. With some of the activities that go that happen around Halloween. Haunted house, it's such a in between time. Are we, with those activities, actually opening doors for things to come in as well?
Probably so. I think that some are natural and always open, some are random and open and close. And then sometimes our activities through our intention may be doing the same thing. And I just had this weird thought. I thought, what if black holes, in the universe are somehow related to like portals? I do think that those may be ways to travel from one universe to another. I really do. But I just happen to think maybe there's teeny tiny microscopic ones, like the portable void that follows me around and sucks in everything I own.
Bananas.
And sometimes it will spit it out. I found that little thing of Kool-Aid I had that night.
Where did it
Didn't find a banana.
materialize?
Medicine cabinet. Medicine cabinet.
But you're talking about that maybe some spirits or entities might take advantage of what's going on at Halloween. I got to tell you about something that I saw in Hendersonville, and it was on Halloween, probably about 2010 when we lived there, maybe 2009. And I had gone downtown, and just because there was something going on before all of the Halloween festivities, and then right around dusk, they start all the Halloween stuff. And I don't know if any of y'all go to downtown Hendersonville for Halloween, but all the trick-or-treating takes place downtown. And all of the businesses give out candy, and then people who live above the businesses will actually have buckets on ropes and it's so much fun.
How fun with the buckets.
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. They know how to do Halloween. But when I was there just observing, and I wasn't really involved in any of the activities, I was an observer. I saw these 3 women go by me who were impossible. They were really tall and thin, and their legs took up like half of their bodies. They were way out of proportion. All three of them. And they were very pale. And as I watched them go by, of course they caught my eye, and I thought, they are passing as human right now because they can. And they looked at me like, we know you see us.
But that's creepy.
It was very creepy.
I know when I was little, when we actually waited till dark to go trick-or-treating. They don't do that now. We do have downtown trick-or-treating up here, but it's in the daytime too. But anyway, I don't know, I used to lay in bed and I'd be so scared, because even then I used to think that this is the time when spirits are in, and that's little, are in this world, and they can't tell the difference between, who's normal and who's not, because we dress up, but a lot of the people or things that you see are in fact them, whoever them are. But I used to think that, like I said, I would tell this to myself as a very small child, which I'm probably a lot of other people did too.
Well, I saw some of them in Hendersonville. I did.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
Those women were not possible.
That kind of freaks me out to even hear about it. I don't know why, but it does.
Yeah. Okay. To the news desk we go, and it seems like we can't ever get away from talking about 2 things, aliens and Bigfoot. And Bigfoot is in the news again. Matter of fact, on the front page of the McDowell News today, another Bigfoot sighting down in the lake. And just any photos of a shadowy figure standing on the banks of Lake James have reignited talk of one or more Bigfoot living northwest of Charlotte. Of course, this article is from the Charlotte Observer. That's why that's their perspective. The series of images was reportedly taken about 2 a.m. on Saturday and posted on Facebook by Bigfoot 911, a research group devoted to creatures of folklore like Bigfoot. He was standing on the bank watching these guys. And the reason they were there is that they had reports of a night fisherman had contacted them and said that they had seen something watching them from the shore when they were out there. And at least one of the sportsmen said he had also seen a Bigfoot back in June. And the photo that they took was with a night vision camera. Now, the first thing that anybody will say, like I said, when you see that, is like, where's the friggin' Bigfoot? Come on. At what point are we going to get a good picture? And why don't we get good pictures?
Okay, that's a good question. Why don't you get good pictures of hardly anything? Although on occasion there are. On occasion. And of course, when you get a good picture, everybody's going to assault it for being too good. And, it's obviously fake. You can't win, okay?
Yeah.
You can't win. But I wonder if, you remember me telling you that when I'm doing all that weird stuff, I was doing how the air around me got to be like radiant heat waves. And like also, I think sometimes you can see spirits or whatever moving around like heat waves.
Yeah.
I wonder if coming through portals, poking a hole in this world, this realm, maybe actually creating an energy like that so that you can't get a clear picture because there is really no clarity. I have to wonder, if that reminds me of this story too. Because, I have trouble too believing in things that I haven't seen. We all do, I guess. But I think sometimes we can take it to this extreme. Back in high school, my teacher, who I just friended, I'm sure he remembers me from like 50 years. Well, not 50 years ago. From 45 years, he ain't going to remember me. But I was so tickled to see him on Facebook. But Mr. Yetzi, who was my favorite teacher, he was telling us about this kid that he had taught. And this kid that he had taught did not believe in icebergs because the Bible didn't mention icebergs. Therefore, there was no such thing. What about the pictures of the icebergs? It's all hoax. You could go up there. No, can't do it. You'll fall off the planet or whatever. And you couldn't convince this person, even though he could actually get in a boat and go up there and see for himself or down there, whichever. Yeah. Because he just couldn't wrap his mind around it because it wasn't actually written in the Bible, an iceberg, okay? And then I had this friend who owned a hillbilly cafe, and she let this guy rent the premises to do this stuff about alien stuff.
That was the name of it, was the hillbilly.
Yeah, it's the name of it. And Mary Jo's her name. She had this guy come in there, rent the premises to this guy was doing his alien talks and stuff, right? And he was saying that
at the hillbilly cafe.
Yeah. And she was saying that, he was nice and all this, but she says, I don't believe in stuff like that. And I said, well, why? It's just because I ain't never seen. She goes, because
she's the one who's smoking was actually part of her superpower.
Yeah. And actually she quit smoking. I thought, oh my God, that happened years ago that she quit and I'm still not believing it. But anyway, she had not personally seen one. Therefore, they did not exist. Because of that simple fact. If they existed, they would have surely presented themselves to her by now, and she's the one I told you that you could put in any haunted house that was too active, put her in there with the cigarette, she'd sit there, she'd ground it out. It would go away just by her mere presence. But even though she actually didn't believe in stuff, because she did have some experiences with a ghostly visit from her grandma or something like that. But anyway, the point of this story is, I think we have to find that balance between staying grounded and, for God's sakes, don't get caught up in every conspiracy theory that comes across the internet. Stay grounded, but at the same time, don't be so bogged down in that ground that you can't see some things that may be sometimes scary, but sometimes wondrous, sometimes fascinating, sometimes maybe even life-saving. You've got to find that good balance. Some people, have a hard time. They believe nothing. And some people, they're just gullible. They believe anything. So it's really important that you kind of do that gut check and ask yourself. And sometimes I feel like I get a pushback on stuff, and it's like, no, and 99 times out of 100, I'm right. If I get that pushback, but I have to follow that pushback. Is this coming from my fear, from my stubbornness, from my upbringing? Because once in a while it is, but if it is, I'll get through it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's a whole nother universe just opened up. Sometimes you got to work through the fear that's been instilled in you. And why is this fear instilled? People like everything to be a certain way. That's how we're secure. We have to have security to have peace, and it's not bad. But sometimes I even wonder, why are we so adamant to the nth degree that we cheat ourselves out of even imagining that there might be something bigger, better, bolder, different, whatever out there.
Yeah.
Judy, I appreciate you checking in on your lunch hour. That's so nice when people actually give up their lunch to listen to us. And by the way, sometimes people's comments don't show up until we're way past where we're talking about, and I'm really sorry about that.
But. Yeah, like Sonia said, hot flashes equal power surges, and we were talking about that. And if that's the case, you are supersonic.
I am, man. I tell you what, if we can harness this, we can heat the world.
Okay, you feel like that's enough of the Bigfoot?
I don't know, probably.
Okay. So another article that
Bigfoot sightings are more common in places where there are alien sightings.
Really?
I read that somewhere.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Why that might be so?
That's what made me start thinking maybe it was not a hidden exotic creature, but maybe something that is related to otherworldly beings. Much like Chewie.
Chewbacca.
They probably chose that for a reason.
How about that?
I don't know.
Okay, also a news article that you sent me. It's been a week or so ago that we talked about Tom DeLonge of Blink 182, you know, and his group, the Stars Academy of Arts and Sciences, had released those videos that had come out of the military, and then they were, at first they were debunked, and then they came back and said, no, they're real, and we don't know what they are. Anyway, they're back in the news because in a recent Q&A with the New York Times, a reporter asked a representative of that group if they had ever obtained exotic material samples from UFOs. And the spokesperson said, certainly. And I thought, and there's really not even much more information other than that they said that they do have exotic materials are. I don't know. That's pretty wild. What do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I'm not sure what they are. I was thinking of that other article that that we had that we're talking about too, the same vein. Somebody said, by the way, that when we find life, it will be microscopic kind of life. Well, and if other worlds find us, it's going to be of a more advanced power. And so I'll tell you that for no reason. It's like we're looking down at the ground, which is what you have to do, I guess. You know, you got to do the way you do. And all the time, I feel like there's somebody sitting up here, like looking down, watching us look at the ground. But anyway, what was that other article that we had too, where they said some guy from NASA? That goes right along with this, I think.
Yeah, it was a NASA chief, and his name is Jim Green. Says that we are close to finding life on Mars, but in his opinion, the world isn't ready for it.
Can't make them ready.
He said it will be revolutionary. It will start a whole new line of thinking. I don't think we're prepared for the results. We're not. I've been worried about that because I think we're close to finding it and making some announcements. And this is a guy from NASA. Again, that's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
It's coming up. It comes up all the time. It's like you can't get away from it. Why? Because we are being desensitized. You can't just spring it on somebody. So they're going to, you know, gradually, and, you know, first, a while back, you remember they found that rock on Earth, and these guys, scientists said this has got microbes, and it comes from outer space. So this is proven, and that people went bat crap, you know, for lack of a better phrase. And it's like, you're not, let me just say this, you're not going to get people ready. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to just slap the crap out of them with the outright landing. You know, I get aggravated. They say, well, if there's anything like that out there, why don't they land on the White House lawn? Well, number one, you know, our ways are not necessarily their ways, but saying they want to be, they could figure out our ways and do it. But you know what? They already did. They buzzed it back in the 50s. And they try to say, well, that was a temperature inversion. No, there was not any such thing. That is so debunked. And yet, they buzzed the White House in the 50s. And it's like, we're okay with that.
Well, what about, and I can't remember all of the details about it right now. I'm sure you've heard about the Battle of Los Angeles. All of these UFOs over Los Angeles, I don't know, was it back in the 60s or something like that?
No, it's in after the war.
Okay, so it would have been in the 50s. And everybody in Los Angeles was out there watching.
It's during the war.
Watching what was happening over the skies. I don't think it would have been during the war because that would have started a panic.
That's why they did panic.
Okay.
They panicked because they thought Japan had come over, and we were like, you know, that's why they had all that stuff going on. I could be wrong. You know, you need to look at it.
But anyway, with all the details notwithstanding, this is called the Battle of Los Angeles. You can look it up if you want to explore it a little bit more, but witnessed by many, many tens of thousands, if not more, people. And that just kind of got flushed down the memory hole.
But people got killed. You know how they got killed? When the Air Force started shooting at it, people were killed on the ground from friendly fire.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God. They even took a picture not too long ago and cleaned it up with today's technology, the one that was in the paper with all the searchlights and everything pointing on it.
Right.
It's a saucer. It's like, there it is. I can't stand it when I look over here and see this going that way. It's saucer shaped. Yeah. And they thought it was the Japanese, and they were like all nervous and afraid because the Japanese might attack California. And they were like, you know, already very nervous. And yeah, it was fired upon. That's why it was called the Battle of that. So anyway,
that's pretty wild.
Have that for what it's worth.
Well, you know, we're talking about Tom DeLonge's group having artifacts. Made me think of artifacts. And I've had this little thing kind of on the back burner ever since Angela and I have been doing this live stream. And she has agreed to let me spring this on her because she's never seen this before. But I have an artifact right now that I want to see what she picks up off of it.
I don't normally pick things up off objects. Sometimes people want to bring me things of people that have passed on stuff. I just get it from finding it in my mind. However, once in a while, I do get energy from certain things. Once in a while, I do.
And the reason we thought this might be something that might be kind of fun is this was purchased in Ecuador back in the 1980s off the side of the road from a little lady, an indigenous lady who had obviously been pilfering one of the archaeological digs there. And to me, this thing is so wild. Look at that. There's the front of it. It looks like one of those ancient alien things. And then on the back, if you can make it out, it's a half moon.
I thought it was a face without my glasses on.
Well, you're still seeing the holes from the front
that
make up the face.
Yeah.
But that's a half moon, it looks to me like. And there's obviously a face on the front.
Oh, yeah, now I see the face on the front. I didn't even see the face on the front before. So, I don't know what to say about this. It feels like, usually when somebody hands me something with a lot of energy, I want to sling it down. But every now and then I'll get something that I want to just like a worry stone. This feels like something I would want to have in my pocket and just rub with my thumb. So, all I can tell you is it feels earthbound to me. But, you know, somebody has seen something or felt or learned something, or it's going back to their own history, and they've printed something from their own folklore on here. An artist, is my guess, has reprinted, re-etched on this. But the energy that they've put into it seems to be comforting. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting I was going to throw it across the room in a big dramatic flare. But actually, it's like, oh, no, this fits. I don't know what that means, but this fits. So,
well, we've had that in the house on a shelf for as long as we've been together, and that's like 20 years, and it's never bothered me. I've always been incredibly intrigued by it.
Does it bother Ellen? Does she feel anything?
She doesn't pay any attention to it. If anything, I would say I'm like you. I almost feel kind of drawn to it. It feels in some way, perhaps even familiar.
Yeah, if it was mine, I think I would want a little holder to kind of sit up on a little shelf, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think that is an interesting thing there. And, you know, I've told this about people, not just with this sort of thing, but like with rocks and, you know, gemstones and stuff. You got to sometimes certain people, especially I have noticed Taurus people and maybe other earth signs, but I've just noticed, happened to notice that a lot of Taurus people especially tend to gravitate towards certain rocks or gemstones. And doing that, I think that you can maybe find something that resonates with you and maybe keep it around to help keep you grounded. I got a few bowls that my friend, Other Kim, made for me because she's an artist and she does stuff. And, you know, I keep those rocks in there. And I told you, I think before, she has them in her truck. I told her if she ever wrecked, it's going to beat us to death in there because she just got them laying around when she just goes out and grabs them. But I do think that there is an energy in all things. And I do feel that it would not surprise me to find out that stone had not been infused with maybe some sort of energy of a higher nature. I talk a lot and say nothing.
That's why we're here.
Somebody said that about me in junior high. Some of my friends might have said, that girl talks the most of anybody ever seen and says absolutely nothing.
Well, we're all here because we love to hear you talk, and we disagree with the part about you saying nothing. But sometimes what you say is mysterious, as in when you send me these texts through the week. And one that you sent me said simply, manifesting, patience, water pitcher example.
Why do you read those? Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
This is word for word what was on my phone.
Wait a minute. What?
Manifesting, patience, water pitcher example.
You have to be patient when you're trying to manifest something. I think that was it. Sometimes, you know, we need something to happen right away. And I was just thinking that you are like a vessel, okay? And I think sometimes you know something's coming for you, but it's not here yet. And it gets real frustrating because you're needing that to take place, but there's nothing you can do. Like in your situation, you might be looking for a home, for example. But in somebody else, they might need maybe a spiritual gift, or they might need the door, whatever they might need. And I've actually been waiting here now for about 27 years, I think. Oh my God, do you know I'm going to be married 25 years?
Well, congratulations.
God, I hope this ain't my anniversary.
James was being awful nice a while ago.
It's not yet. It's Monday. It's the 7th, October 7th or 9th. It might be the 9th. I don't know. It's coming up. I do know it's 25 years.
Wow.
But anyway, and I'm still living. I mean, no offense or to James or anything, but he is different. But you know, that's why he's mine, right? That's why he's mine. Okay, what was I talking about now?
Well, you were talking about patience.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Now listen. You wait for these things and you get impatient because you need it to happen. And sometimes, like I said, it's just energy that you may be needing from the universe or whatever it is. But I think of it like a glass, and that glass is representing you. And then here's a picture of water, and this is the universe, okay? And it's filling this up. And until that is filled with whatever energy that is needed to make that change possible, or to be ready to adapt to that change, whatever, there's nothing that can be done. You've got to be still. And it's very difficult when, golly bum, it's the worst thing in the world, I think. But there's nothing to be done about it, because you have to get what you have to get. And that goes in at whatever speed the universe sends it in. And then when it's filled, I think that's when stuff happens. That's when opportunities happen. That's when we're able to maybe go through a door, or to receive whatever we're looking for, or to do what, even leave. Maybe sometimes it's just about being at the end of your life, even. Who knows? It's whatever it means to whoever's listening to this right now. But for some reason, I was just thinking about, there's a lot of times we need to have that patience. And one way to maybe help us is to realize this is not wasting time. The universe is filling us up with the energy that we need to do whatever it is we need to do. And until that vessel is filled, there's nothing will be done about it. That's all.
Okay. That's good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm so proud of myself. I remembered that.
Okay, another text that you sent me was it's kind of built on something we've talked about before. How do people who have already passed on help us here? And with an example of test taking.
Yeah. Did I not tell you that already? I'm sorry.
We talked about that briefly, but not about...
My memory is so bad anymore. Honest to goodness. That, I don't know, I'm afraid I will be like one of those people that tell you the same story. Like, this is the 10th time, and I'm still thinking it's all fresh and new. It's terrible. Well, we'll see. I need to just only talk to senior citizens. That way it's like it's new to everybody. What were you talking about actually? What was it?
How do people who have already passed on help us?
Okay, well, you know, I think that here we see like this, and there they see like that. And I think those of that help us, and I think most do, and I think it helps them in ways I do not understand to help us. I just know it does, okay? And I know it's done in an unconscious manner. We may have a dream, which is actually a visit. We may not even dream it at all. We may be visited them in our sleep. We're out of our body. We're cavorting with them. We bring back information, and even though we don't recall the specifics, it's there when we need it. But what was the example I gave there?
Test taking.
Oh, yeah. The way that it helps me to understand, it's like, consider Earth is like a classroom, and we're all in here taking this, you know, learning about how to human, as I've said repeatedly. We're all here knowing all the stuff, good, bad, ugly, dark, light, whatever. That's what we're here for, to get all this stuff. And so it's like, okay, we're doing this now, and we're taking this test. And you know how it is when you're taking a test, there's always somebody, some smart person, they get it and they leave, you know. And so you're still sitting there struggling. Well, they're out in the hall. Well, now they can't do that test that you're doing for you, because that's your test, okay? But maybe they can give you a little nudge. Maybe they can give you a little assistance. So they're done. They've moved on. They're out in the hall now. But maybe every now and then they could say, look at number 3, or check back to chapter 2. And while they're not doing that work for us, they can give us that guidance. So we can say, oh yeah, now I remember, or yeah, I forgot to look at that. So while they don't do the work, they can help us to get through whatever it is that we're getting through to get to our next level. And that's just the way it helps me. That and this. Sometimes we want to have help and we need it. And I hope to goodness I continue to get it from the other side, from the people that are there helping me. And usually these are people we know in our soul group, but sometimes it could be a guy that's just in passing, somebody that is just here to help you with one thing, because in whatever way that helps us, it helps them, as I said, okay? But you know, when you was a little kid or when you were young, you might remember this thing being sold for babies. It was a ball and it had like a star and a square and a circle, and the baby puts it in. Sometimes it's like this. I see sometimes it's like they want to help us in more ways than we allow. And it's like they may be there, you know, saying, you know, turn the thing. It's the star, not the circle. Turn it, turn it. And I think we don't want to hear it, or we refuse to hear it. We got to do it ourselves. And we get so frustrated that we fling all grades of fits and get all manner of upset because we're not understanding. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time, maybe multiple lifetimes even, if you want to look at it like that, to finally get it in there. And maybe sometimes we do hear, and we are able, wait a minute, maybe I should put the circle there. And maybe it's a little mix of both. And Kim, look what somebody said.
I saw that. I wanted to hold that for just a minute while
I'm done.
Following up on that. So when we're getting assistance from people who have already passed through Earth, how are they giving us that assistance? Just getting ideas in our head? Or
I think that, again, they do it by giving us information through our dreams, maybe giving it to us, like you said, a thought that maybe doesn't feel yours, and an inspiration, or an opportunity, an event. You know, maybe something happens that is brought to your attention. To pick up the right newspaper, to click on the right website, to say hello to the right person. Just a nudge, you know, a nudge. And like I said, live people do this too. Live people do this too. I've told you about how to do a soul contact or create a psychic link with somebody, which again, they can push back if they don't want to hear what you're saying. And a lot of this stuff, by the way, if you don't remember, it might be on a previous episode of this or in some stuff on my website.
What about signs? For instance, I know you guys have heard me talk about this a million times. You know, we were looking at buying a house. It ended up, it didn't go through, and it was a blessing because it shouldn't have gone through. But in the lead up to this, I kept getting what certainly seemed like signs to me. Like I kept stubbing my toe, which is, you know, classic, watch where you're going. Yeah. And I got it over, and it was worse each time until the last time I cut my toe and it bled like crazy. But where is that sign coming from? From me? From somebody else?
No, I think that sometimes it might be your own higher self. You know, you're manifesting, you know, you don't want to do something, or maybe you're afraid to, or maybe you can't do something, whatever situation anybody might have. And it's like you might actually be generating this energy yourself, because if you don't pay attention, I think things just get bigger and bigger and bigger until you do, till you finally get to, you know, your toe broke. Or like I told you, in my case, I was thinking about moving that time. Then I wouldn't listen. And I pulled out in front of somebody or did some sort of thing. Anyway, I got a ticket, it's been many years ago, for unsafe movement. And I thought, well, now if that ain't there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I was.
So it'd be your higher self.
Sometimes it's your higher self, but sometimes it may be your guides, or which could be human beings, spirits, or it could be angel spirits. And I do think they do guide us too, and they do keep us on our path. But it could also be, you know, sometimes it's a path we don't understand. You know, there's that picture. I'm going to tell you something awful. There's this picture, as you know, of that angel with the children on the bridge. It's comforting and lovely.
My mama loved that picture.
Yeah, why wouldn't she? It's comforting and lovely. However, sometimes I wonder, maybe it's the angel's job to kick them off, because maybe their life purpose was to experience this thing to happen to them in childhood, and maybe it was for their families. And where are them people anyway? Where's the parents of these children on that rickety old bridge in the middle of the night anyway?
You know, I never thought about that.
I mean, I have given it a lot of thought. But anyway, where are they've been murdered. I don't know. But it's like
you got this whole thing going on. This picture.
Maybe this was something that was meant to be on their life plan to teach people about grief and loss and child neglect and abuse and stuff like that. So, you know, but of course, don't enjoy your painting, people. Enjoy your painting, because I do think many times that these things are here to help keep us on a path that is beneficial and good and light. But it kind of gets like, you take people, there's a big accident and somebody lives, somebody else dies, and the person that lives says, well, I thank God I lived. Well, what does that mean? God might have deserted the other person? Well, that's where this old song comes in my mind, where it says, thank you for the valley that I walked through today, because in the Bible, it actually says that we're to be thankful for not just these wonderful things. Yay, I can eat today. I got some money, or, but also maybe thank you that today I had to learn about hunger. It's really hard to be thankful for things that are devastating, perhaps, and probably maybe beyond our pay grade at our current level, to be honest. But we are supposed to be thankful for all things, because this is how we learn. This is for our edification. That's what it says, our edification, our education in learning what it is to live in this world at this time, in this form, in this way. And there ain't nothing worse, like I said, than having to say, thank you for the beatdown I've just received. But if you are living, I think, in your higher self and your best self, I think there's a reason that happened, and maybe a sacrifice that was made by you so someone else might learn about the dark side of humanity. So be thankful in all things is what I'm trying to say, even if you don't understand it.
You know what? I saw that modeled beautifully in a video I saw today. I don't know if you've seen this yet. It's probably viral. It should be. There was a trial for a police officer who had killed somebody.
Yeah.
And at the sentencing, when they let the brother of the deceased speak, he said, I'll probably get emotional talking about it. He said to the person who was convicted of killing his brother, he said, I love you. And then he said, I have a request. And he said, I want to hug you. And he went over to the person who had just been convicted for killing his brother and hugged that police officer. And I thought, well, there's somebody who gets.
That's a higher self acting out now right there.
Yeah.
That is so tragic and so amazing. And there you go. That's probably a higher level soul right there that could do that, and a sacrificial soul as well,
I just wanted to note that Fran messaged a while ago and said that I was back to normal size.
We were talking about that.
If you go back and look at last week's show, you'll see that I look tiny, and I was kind of like poo-pooing it while we were doing it, because I thought, well, I'm just kind of leaning back.
I'm freaking out over here because
But I went back and looked at it, and sure enough, I look like, as you said, a little mini
condensed.
size. Yeah,
condensed.
And here's my theory, and I want to see what you think about it. After something happens to you that's traumatic, it ripples for a while, right? And you keep feeling that energy for a while. Mm-hmm. And unbeknownst to me, as I sat here last Thursday, I had a big shock coming. I had a very close death that happened actually about the time we were sitting here. It just became, I just now realized. And I wonder if in some way, energetically, I was already feeling the reverberations of an event that I was not aware of yet.
I think it's all the above. I think you were already being traumatized by, what was going on in your personal life with decision making and whatnot. And then that might have been the final thing that just sent you into, hiding within yourself. Hiding, getting smaller, I think that may be all the above.
And the other thing it was my first cousin, somebody that I grew up with and was very close to as a kid. And as I told you, it hit me really hard because it was like part of my childhood broke away, and there it goes forever. And you had a similar experience a couple days later with a childhood friend passing, mm-hmm. and you had similar feelings. I'm wondering if you guys, if that's been a theme with anybody else, that doesn't have to be anything as dramatic as a death, but that you feel like something happened, that your childhood just kind of, something fundamentally under you just kind of broke off and went away. I just wonder if that's
it's almost always in patterns, so I have no doubt. I just noticed Angie there had said something about 246. I'm assuming that's the time she may be waking up. That's exactly the times I do it too.
And PJ's waking up all night. So is Karen.
Yeah, there you go.
Fran, 4:15 every night for a week. Gosh, Fran, I'm glad to know. I'll think of you tonight when I'm up getting water and stuff.
Well, tell you what's weird. I will tell you that just my cousin. She was telling me a while back that she and her sister were actually experiencing this at the same time. When a lot of this started with me, this sleep disturbance.
Kelly, 4:26 every morning.
These are all very familiar times to me. But anyway, she said, and this is weird, okay? This is weird. She said about this waking up business. I was waking up. It was at that time, it's been about a year ago, 3 a.m. Every morning I'm waking up. Well, here's the weird thing about it. I'm not waking up having to look at the clock to see what time it is, because I know that it is, in fact, 6:30 or 7. It wasn't. It's 3 a.m. But they were doing it too.
Remember you telling me that?
Yeah. And it was so strong that my cousin actually left out of bed, went and woke up her teenage children, told them to get in the shower. They're got to get to school. And they're like, what is going on? Because it was only 3 a.m. And she thought the same thing. She thought it was 6 or 6:30, whatever time it is they get up. But that was weird for me, because I was too. And it's like, I've been doing it more again lately. Didn't do it for a long time. But a few of these times when I'm waking up, I'm thinking the same thing. Well, I went and opened the front door, made it be ajar so the dog could go just straight out and I have to go out the back. Go back to bed, look at the clock. It's 3:30 in the morning. I forgot about this. I forgot. This was just a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago maybe. I don't know anymore. Anyway, I had to get up and go close it because I'm thinking, no, I actually thought, well, maybe you'll be okay though. No, probably shouldn't leave the door propped open at 3:30 in the morning. But I'm thinking and I'm certain that it's time to get up.
I remember when that was happening with your cousin, that she made a connection. I don't know, if it's valid or not, but that was when that eclipse was approaching. It was approaching the time of the eclipse, and she thought that might have something to do with it. You remember that?
I did not remember that. I wonder if we're talking about the same cousin. We're not.
Okay. Well, it's a different cousin that had the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that bringing up the eclipse and I didn't even think we'd talk about this at all, but it reminded me, that was called the Great American Eclipse because it started in Portland, Oregon, and came right down to South Carolina, to Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Basically split the country in half.
Oh.
And now we are becoming split in half.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what else we have. We're getting about time to wind it up.
I'm thinking about time again. You know how we've said that, to me, time is all right here. And it's like a film reel. And it doesn't make sense like that. It's just, there it is. You have to kind of pull it out bit by bit by bit for it to make sense. And also you think about it as the author did, where it's, and I agree, where it's like all wadded up in this little wad here. If you have penciled it out, this is time, rather than it being like this. And I think that it's just in that this little wad is getting tighter right now for some reason. And so time jumps, time mishaps, time whatever could be more obvious random than usual, maybe. Wouldn't it be
Judy's
weird?
having weird time stuff too.
Wonder if wouldn't it be weird some mad scientist somewhere wasn't doing some weird experiment with time, and this is like we're all just kind of feeling whatever's going on in the castle on the hill.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to look into what they were doing with the is it the CERN particle collider?
Yeah, I did not have a good feeling about that.
Yeah,
I did not.
That can I believe that can bend the fabric of time. I really do.
It would not surprise me.
Yeah. Okay, let's kind of wind it up on a more whimsical note, because I know you love to be whimsical. You sent me a pretty long article about gnomes. You had gnomes on your mind, which made me think, y'all know this book, The Gnome Mobile? It was a Disney movie, which was so great. Walter Brennan was in it, and he had two roles, but his best role was the grandpa gnome. And what did he call? Humans, or regular sized humans, were called dudines. He did not have much patience, not much use for dudines. Anyway, so gnomes kind of have this image of being whimsical and fun. And the article that you sent me was just kind of a summary of different kinds of encounters people had with gnomes. And in general, people do report that they look like something kind of out of a fairy tale, with pointed hats and bright clothing and bushy beards, unless they're female, I guess.
I've actually wondered where all the female gnomes. You don't see too many of them.
And sometimes they're friendly, sometimes they're indifferent, sometimes they're hostile. Some people report that they're playful, act a bit shy, and then seem to want to have just get attention. And then somebody reported that there was one outside their second floor window, kind of urging them to come outside. And then they went outside, and there was this little man, that classic description, up in a tree. So anyway, that's just kind of interesting stuff about gnomes. But why did you have gnomes on the mind this week?
Well, I actually just come across that article, and it made me think though about otherworldly beings and you know, brownies are another kind of thing that have thought to be very friendly, but have also turned kind of violent when you cross a line with them. And but yeah, I remember, Kim, a long time ago, somebody called me to see if I was okay, because another person she was talking to, and this was at nighttime, said that she needed to call me right away. And she said, why? Because she says there are beings in her bedroom or something like that, and they're wearing little red shoes. And she's sitting on the bed, but she's not awake. She's talking to them, but she's not awake. And she said, where do they come from? She said, they're coming from her basement. And this girl was like in a trance. And so she called, and the phone rang, and they disappeared. Now, this story is actually in my book. I got to go back and read it, because I'm so grateful that I recorded these, because I can't remember all the details. I can once I get really calmed down again. But anyway, it started making me think about those little red shoe people. And then this girl came over.
Little red shoe people.
Yeah, this girl came over, spent the night with my daughter, and she got like harassed in the middle of the night somehow. And she swears that she saw this little man with, it was the weirdest thing, she says, he was wearing little red shoes. Well, then this other girl, totally separate, nothing to do with me whatsoever, reported that there was a little man over near Marion Elementary on her sidewalk with a red hat. And then years later, her daughter, who knew nothing of it, saw the same thing. And then there's another report of somebody over in Clinchfield somewhere actually saw a little man walking around the foot of her bed and just staring at her. I don't think he was wearing a hat. He might have been green. I don't know. It wasn't my story. But it was a person telling this who was like a working person with not a really active imagination, somebody that was kind of just real and kind of alarmed. But anyway.
I was just looking at what Angie wrote. Mythical creatures like gnomes are often elusive, and she feels it's because they can cross realms, which absolutely, and which is also why you said that that they don't photograph well.
Exactly, because they're coming and going. Maybe sometimes they do. And you know, like I said, you go to get a good picture, you're going to be told it's fake. You get a bad picture, you're going to be made fun of for taking a bad picture. You can't win, but you could try. Keep trying.
And I saw. I'm sorry, names has already gone up there and I can't see it anymore, with asking about Rh negative blood. I don't know anything about that. Do you?
No, actually, that was the girl that brought me my Kool-Aid, I bet, that said that. I'm not sure. But anyway, she read somewhere about that maybe being alien DNA type thingy. Maybe the people that have the Rh negative blood, something that she read or come across that has to tie in with the Rh negative and an unknown DNA connection, possibly, you know, a alien world kind of thingy.
I'm gonna read some more about
something.
that.
Yeah, look it up because it was really interesting. Just look up Rh blood factor alien DNA and see what happens.
Sarah's got a question there, and it's behind this little that new comment balloon. I can't see what it is.
Well, this is probably going to make us get in the video because I don't know.
There
we go. Look what I did.
Look at all those comments. Oh gosh, y'all, these comments have been flying in here, and they've just been backing up.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay, let me read. Sonia says, decades ago, I attended an ARE conference where an astronomer spoke and told us that 1, the U.S. has already made contact with aliens. I've heard that forever. And 2, in order to prepare the citizens for the introductions of aliens to their reality, there would be more movies, TV shows, etc. about aliens.
Have I been saying for years?
Yeah.
From Teletubbies on, I've been saying this for years. Now, back in the 40s or the golden age in the 50s of sci-fi, you know, which I've been rewatching that one again from the, what do you call it? They redid it with Kim, what is it? With a guy that comes out of the mask and, you know, with the light that comes out and God, it's not They Came From Beyond. It's a very famous sci-fi movie. The world, something about the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. For God's sakes.
It's not Plan 9 from outer space.
No, it's from the 50s, and they redid it with that guy that was in Speed.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
What's the name of that friggin' movie? I should know that too.
Somebody will tell us in a minute. This is just so friggin' annoying.
Gosh, y'all, I'm so sorry. These comments were not showing. Now here they are. I'm so sorry that we might have actually I'll tell you what, y'all, we'll look at these after the fact, and if there's something that we want to address, we'll just make note and pick it up next time.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, but you know,
also talking about RH negative stuff. My
what
mom's
the heck
friend
was I talking about?
Sarah says my mom's friend saw a little brown man in Walmart when she worked third shift before all the Walmarts were open 24/7. If that was the Walmart here in Marion, is she from here?
I did not know.
Okay. Anyway, you're not alone. But
yeah, I've had other people tell me too.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What the heck was we talking about before I got off on that movie? There was a point that needed to be made.
I'm so lost. I have no idea. We were going through RH negative blood and gnomes and everything else.
Dang it, that makes me angry though, because
red shoes.
I actually had a point. I have no idea. Oh, I think we've been trained, and the thing is, and this is what I'm saying now and what I've been feeling lately. I think they started out, and also there is if you like at UFO stuff, you go online and you go Google it, YouTube, whatever. There is a documentary that was made back in the 50s or even 40s, and it is all about that stuff, and it is crazy good. I mean, it is like got the Army people, Air Force people, and this was before they decided to put to start making people be making fun of people. That policy. The day the earth stood still. Thank you so much. That was driving me crazy. But anyway, this documentary, it was made before they decided to make fun of people, before they started to stomp down on information. So it's like, oh my God, here are these military people that know, talking openly about all these things. And it was just so interesting. So please Google that if you're interested, and says that. Not just Google 1940s or 1950s documentary on here. So it's really good. But yeah, the day the earth stood still. What was I talking about it for?
I don't remember now. I think there was a gnome with RH negative blood.
Oh, that was just one. That was an example. That was an example trying, I think, to calm people, because you know, this guy comes from this other place to decide whether to destroy. It's also kind of like a religious parody, I think. But, you know, come to the earth to decide whether or not we was worth saving. And it makes you wonder, maybe that is why some of them are here, to see if we're worth saving. And honestly, I don't think so.
Jury's out.
I like God loves us, because I find it harder and harder to do as a whole. I want to love humanity. I love individuals, of course. I try to be a creature of love. The world needs more love, for crying out loud. But when you see things happening to the animals and the planet and the water, it's like, my God, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? And I need more Kool-Aid, evidently, because I'm getting angry again.
Well, look, when you get wound up, people love that. You get all kinds of thumbs up. And Angie says the video has been freezing, so maybe that's why
I saw it freeze a couple of times.
Yeah, so maybe that's why the comments have been kind of lagging.
Lincolnton, Sarah. You know, maybe
I guess the Walmart in Lincolnton.
Yeah,
I used to service that store as a sales rep.
Well, it's also Morganton. Now, I've heard stories in Morganton from Pat that used to work there. I hope she don't mind me saying, I'm not going to say her last name because she doesn't mind. But, you know, I've heard stories from a few other people that worked at Walmart in Morganton. So maybe it's like the marketplace, which is what Walmart is now. It's a modern marketplace. Again, what we're talking about last week, it's the place where people gather. It's the place where there's many souls passing. You know, over at Biltmore House, there's no recorded death, I don't think, in there, except maybe for the original guy. I'm not sure whose ghost has been seen in there. But I feel like a presence out there where that swimming pool is. And I just about tell you, somebody's bound to drown in that pool. But if they didn't, I'm telling you, I believe somebody's spirit's there. Some girl, I felt her. I'm not taking it back. And I also felt other things. And in one place outside Biltmore House, it felt like a passageway, like tons of people just passing through. And so I think that maybe that's one of the portals that the mountainous areas are, you know, famous for. But anytime I think you have stuff happens. And I do think that there are otherworldly beings walking amongst us. And I'm jealous. I didn't get to see those ladies at the same time. I'm kind of glad, because I might have been loud about it.
Yeah, they were spooky.
Yeah.
But the thing about the Walmart in Morganton, real quick, because we're about to hit an hour here. The Walmart here in Marion, we talked about it having all these haunty happenings, and the fact that it's built right there by Round Hill. It's a very magical place out there. And the Walmart in Morganton, I don't know about the one in Lincolnton that they were talking about, Sarah was talking about. But in Morganton, that Walmart, the old location, was built right there on the grounds of Magnolia Station.
Oh.
So And that was about where I used to live. I grew up just like across the road from that.
Oh, okay.
And the scuttlebutt that we had was we were living out about where the plantation slaves lived. So
now, that's very interesting. A lot of living, a lot of dying.
Yeah.
And here, of course, it's on the Native American reservation, or not reservation, Native American community.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. I think that's enough metaphysical matters for one week. We've been all over the place.
We'll be back, I guess. So we're coming back. We're going to do this again.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Well, keep those cards and letters coming, folks, because I thrive on your encouragement.
And she. Yeah, and she sends me the stuff. I'm a dinosaur on purpose in many ways, technologically. So I don't do Facebook or anything. But she sends all that stuff to me, and I really get a kick out of that.
Yeah, it keeps us going because, you do this and you don't know if people want you to continue or not. They may just be done with you. So we really appreciate it. And please feel free to share. And hopefully we'll work up a little something around Halloween for you. I can't swear to it, but we're going to try.
We got to get a crew because we have to have a driver and a camera person.
Well, that'll be James. Oh, my God. Last time I let him film something, though, he decided that was the perfect time to see what all these little enhancements would do. He had me going in a flower burst. And anyway.
That could actually add a dimension of fun. Okay.
All righty. Bye, y'all. Let's see how long it takes me today. We're working on it. Oh, my God. And, yes, I did want to end it, but it
looks kind of ghostly.
Now, there it goes. And end.
Our dialogue box is a ghost. That's pretty wild.
I swear, one day I'm going to just go up here.
I'm going to work up a routine to do at the very end.